Hello and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's good to be here and I hope you're doing well on this fine Sunday afternoon. I'm bringing you some more Terracards content today here, folks. We are going to experiment with the build that will be titled P plus C combo. That's right, P plus C combo. And you're probably wondering, what exactly does P plus C combo mean? And let me explain it to you, fine folks. So, in the game, as you're well aware, there is a card called the Penguin. So the Penguin is very, very strong, but it kind of needs some isolation, right? As in, it needs empty spaces or lakes surrounding it. And it actually gets very good production. However, it does combo well with crabs. So I'm thinking if we create a build of penguins and crabs, it can be very, very strong. And let's take a look at the crabs themselves as well. So if we look at your basic crab, it gets +2 production per crab on the same island. So homogenize the island with crabs. And then it also eats eggs produced on adjacent islands, which gives it another production bonus. So that means we're going to have to go chickens as well to make the most of this build. For the king crab, it just doubles same island production as crabs. These are a little more obscure. These are a little more difficult to get. But we obviously add those directly to our crab islands. I'm thinking all of this synthesizes rather well into a pretty interesting build that hopefully we can take into orbit. So that's what we're looking at today here, folks. And if you're new here, or maybe you are just enjoying the content, maybe you're just drifting by, maybe this is the first time you've been by the channel, or maybe you don't even know what Terracards is, and this is, in fact, your first exposure to Terracards. Whatever your situation is, I'd appreciate it if you considered becoming a subscriber, especially if you enjoy the content. Just building a community here. I'm a new channel and would highly appreciate your support, especially if you're enjoying the content and the vibes. So thank you very much. Let's get on with the build. Now, what do we need? First and foremost, let's definitely get some chickens. Let's secure the bag of chicken nuggets, if you will. Let's definitely do that. Let's build out a little bit of an infrastructure, as we so often do here. And then let's look at kind of expanding downward. I like the idea of going with the medium fence of chickens, not necessarily a small fence. The chickens can get a lot in a little space, right? But with the medium fence, I feel like we're going to be able to unlock that. So we're going to grab corn as well, because corn is what our chickens eat. So we have to keep them fed once we get them on the field. So looking for corn, looking for a nice little early water solution, which we can definitely achieve in a variety of ways. I mean, we are going chicken, so we could certainly look at water chickens, which are a completely viable solution for sure. But we'll kind of take a look at what we get. I mean, we do have a small fence we could play. We could throw down some water chickens, get a little nest in the adjacency of that island and get some water that way. Obviously, there's a watery tree as well that we are huge fans of on this channel. So we'll kind of see what we get. More sunflowers, we'll take that. Build up our little energy battery. I'm going to be grabbing a fisherman hut as soon as I see it. Cow Deluge, the Miracle, and Gluttonous Feast. We're going to go with Gluttonous Feast. That's a solid one for our penguin friends, for sure. More water wells. Let's grab more water wells. It's convenient. It's there. It is available to us, and we're going to grab it. And let's keep playing corn. Let's keep playing sunflower, and let's keep rocking and rolling. So we want to keep our water under control for sure. Penguins are water intensive as well. So are the many crabs. Here's a water chicken. This is actually good. We will play a water chicken with glee here for sure. We have our melter down there in place. Let's get our corn. What we need is a fence out. Here's a small fence. And we can throw our water chickens right on the field. And they will do well for us. They will do some work for us for sure. Now, the water chicken does not lay your conventional egg. Instead, it lays a water egg. And a water egg will enable you to hatch the water egg in a nest, that is. And it will give you bonus water production that doesn't show up in your surplus there. So each water chicken does give you plus 20, right? And then they also lay the water egg that, if hatched, gives you another 20. So each water chicken themselves has the potential to boost your water by 40, 20 of which physically shows up in your production surplus, I guess you could call it. So just keep that in mind. So we're getting more than 136 per turn. Well, actually, no, sorry, we're not. But when we get the nest on the field, then we will. So keep that in mind. We're going to grab... We have a watery tree here. We also have the blue wheat. Why don't we grab the blue wheat for some energy? Hard to turn down the watery tree there. But that's alright. We have a nice little infrastructure in place here. And basically, we're just kind of salting away the turns until we get that first fisherman hut, which should unlock crabs. So we're just kind of salting it away. Not getting too crazy on the rerolls. Love the idea of banking up some rerolls. We have popcorn, tropical soil, field grapes. We will be going popcorn for sure. That'll work well with our penguins and our crabs for that matter. In fact, now we don't even need to go fisherman hut anymore, because the popcorn will be the food source for our penguins as well as our crabs. So if they keep giving us corn, we'll just simply keep taking it. We're going to need a lot of corn to feed all of our animals with the popcorn buff. We have to get a fuel solution in place, which we'll be working on here shortly. Keep playing blue wheat, keep playing sunflower, and keep playing corn, my friends. Bird nest. Let's grab the bird nest, and I'll show you kind of what that does for our water production. And funnily enough, the bird nest requires energy to operate. That is a real fancy bird nest, if you ask me, right? I'm not sure I'm aware of an electric bird nest, but this particular one is electric. Penguins. Yeah, let's secure our first stack of penguins. And I think we're going to realize pretty early on how strong they actually are. They need isolation. They need some lakes around them. So here's what I'm thinking. Thinking if we go... I think we can get like a barn here to boost up chickens, right? So barn here. This would be chickens. This would be crabs that will feed... The chickens will feed the crabs. And then this will be penguins. Okay? So obviously we need a fence, or we need some kind of structure to harness our penguins. I don't know if they can still go in lakes. The tooltip seems to suggest that they cannot. So we're going to discover here as much as... We're going to discover here the utility of the penguin. Can it go in a lake? We're going to have to secure a lake, and we're going to have to figure it out. Alright, so for fuel wheat... Why don't we go right here with the fuel wheat? We will use the fuel wheat as our fuel solution. More corn, you bet. More fuel wheat, you also bet. More corn, yeah, we'll just keep taking corn for sure. The game is really hooking up the corn. In fact, you usually don't get this much corn. I think the game is feeling out our build for sure. So at the time of recording, folks, it is Sunday. How was your weekend? Did anybody do anything fun this weekend? Me personally, I went and played some guitar with my dad. We do that on occasion. We're both kind of into music. He actually taught me how to play the guitar, and you know, it's something that I'm passionate about and take on with me where I go. So that was what I did this weekend. How about you? How about yourself? Anything fun? Anything interesting happen? Maybe you just kind of took it easy. You know, I know what that's all about. I know the value in that, that's for sure. I was thinking of doing a Terracards and chill video here today to help you kind of chill and wind out the week. We're just getting a ton of penguins right now. This is great. We're going to have to figure out exactly how we can play them, though. I mean, fences are a sure bet, for sure. So, we could probably go with some fences. Save the lakes for the crabs. But yeah, I was thinking about launching a... Well, not launching, but... chipping in another Terracards and chill video to help everybody kind of chill out and, you know, relax on a nice Sunday here. But then I was like, you know, the penguin, right? The penguin's kind of been burning a hole in my pocket, if you will, right? So we're going to play our lake right here. Yeah, so the penguin cannot go in the lake. So we're going to need medium fences for our penguins. That's completely fine. We're going to need a decent stack of medium fences for sure. Let's get our king crab in place. So yeah, that was my weekend. Pretty chill overall. I'm sure everybody's excited to get back into the grind of the week, right? So we're having an abundance of lakes, which is great. This helps with our water cost. And it will also really support our penguins rather well. Water retreat, we'll take that. Just to kind of solve our water woes here overall. And we might as well just get another lake down here. And you bet, folks, you already see what I'm going for here. Medium fence of penguins surrounded by crabs for sure. Have to get some crabs. We're going to definitely want Rabbit Apprentice. That's probably the top essence reward to grab here. So we'll take a look for sure. Carrots, sheep, scarecrow, more lakes. We'll take some more lakes. I don't know if we're really going to have access to this many crabs, but we'll certainly try. Looking for some medium fences. More water chickens. Here's some crabs. That's a nice stack of 8 crabs. You'll love to see that, folks. We are going to... we get Home Sweet Home, which is another just fantastic one to get. If you have a 1A and a 1B, it's Rabbit Apprentice and Home Sweet Home without question. More watery trees. Do we need them? We'll take them. We'll take more watery trees. It's usually a wise thing to grab the watery tree that has been presented to you, for sure. Alright, let's just keep playing our crabs here. Let's kind of see what kind of production. We're getting 18 crab legs. So a decent amount of crab legs in the early stages of our build here. So definitely promising. We could go barn or we could re-roll for something like a medium fence. I'm willing to do it a little bit here. Black sheep, field wheat, giant sunflower. We'll grab the giant sunflower just to kind of stave off the re-rolling. But truthfully, folks, what we need is... we just need more crabs. And some medium fences, for sure. And then we can start putting this into motion. We'll take some more penguins, for sure. Not a problem with grabbing more penguins. So that means we can begin building... I would say another penguin zone right here, for sure. And all of these lakes will be crabs. At least if we can get enough crabs. That is the caveat, for sure. Let's throw... why don't we throw a watery tree right here? We will make use of it if we can just get our hands on some more blue wheat. Keep playing crabs. Just getting hooked up with lakes, man. Big time. I don't think we need more lakes. I just don't think we need them. We can go sunflower. Why don't we play our giant sunflower right here? Yeah, we're doing great on lakes. I mean, we're fine on lakes for sure. Don't necessarily need to go crazy on the lakes. The fisherman huts, we should not need it because our animals will be eating popcorn. In fact, if our crabs are producing, that means our penguins will produce as well. We have tons of corn. So we don't need it. More corn. Yeah, we'll take some more corn. Got a nice little foundation with corn here. Sunflower. Giant chicken. So we do have the giant chicken here. I don't necessarily need... I guess we'll go with more sunflower. Let's get a medium fence though, huh, game? What do you say? What do you say you hook a pal up with a medium fence? How about a nice like 3 or 4 stack medium fence? I don't even know if they come in a 4 stack. I know that they come into a 3 stack for sure. Rabbit, scarecrow. Got another king crab. Those are very useful. The miracle, flush, and peanut fest. Do we go with flush here? It might make sense to go with flush. That way, when we do get our medium fence, we'll be able to play 4 of them. We'll be able to play 4 penguins simultaneously. I think there's some true utility to going flush here, so we're going to go ahead and do it. Here's our medium fence, and you'll love to see that, folks. Going to be lacing that in real soon here. Don't necessarily need more lakes, but could go with more lakes. Let's say this build really does kind of get to the spot where we want it to get. What are we making per turn? 35k. All right, let's hold off on further expansion. We have to get some penguins on the field. We also have to get our chickens on the field as well. Looking for some barns. Lake wheat, scarecrow, regular crow. More corn. Goodness gracious. Might as well keep everybody nice and fed. We're probably going to be getting corn for many turns for the time being. But popcorn is great in its own right for sure. So let's get these sunflowers down here, and then let's try to secure some medium fences in our hand. When we're able to do that, we'll be able to make good use of said medium fences. The game is hooking up corn, sunflowers, and penguins for sure. Alright, what do you say here, game? What do you say? Feel corn. Nope, don't need that. Cross. That's wheat and grapes. Yeah, we'll take the cross. Sure thing. It's useful, especially with flush. It's quite useful. Alright, more penguins, but no medium fence action. And this is where, of course, the flush kind of works against you. We'll go with more chickens. Looking for rabbit apprentice as well. That will help us secure a crab card every single turn. Once we get the fence in our hand, it's not going to be... It's not going to be the penguins that we're really going to have a shortage on. Well, I shouldn't say that, but the crabs and the chickens is kind of more of the infrastructure we need to get in place here. Gotta be responsible. I have fiduciary responsibility of the farm here, folks. Definitely do, and we have to get our fences on the field. Just kind of a grindy thing for sure, with flush, that is. We get our just basic opening turn cows. More corn. I've never seen this much corn. Bunny like carrot, paste bloom, peanut fest. Guess we can go paste bloom. A little uninspiring for sure. It is day 122 and we have not gotten a single penguin on the field yet, which is just baffling to me. I mean, I could play the small fence. In fact, if I see the small fence, I'll just play it because it's got home sweet home on it. You don't want to necessarily do that. Here's more medium fences. Maybe we can prompt the Terracard gods to hook us up. But you don't necessarily want to use the small fence with an animal like the penguin, which takes up a lot of fence space, right? To really maximize, you want to get a medium fence or a small fence with home sweet home. Then it's kind of usable then at that point. More lakes. I'll go with the gnome. Don't need more lakes. What I need is my fences in my hands to play. It's real simple game. Real simple. So let's go. Keep getting our nice penguins. Here's some king crab action too. Goodness gracious. We have 5 medium fences in our hand. Here we go. We finally get the medium fence, and you love to see this here, folks. So, penguin right there, right here, right here. We'll do chickens back here. This is going to give us a lot more flexibility. Can definitely add in some more chickens in those corner spots as well. Just want to surround our crabs with as many chickens as possible. Should make this build very, very strong. Now, is it as strong as the giant sheep? Well, that is a great question, folks. And I'm not prepared to answer that. At least quite yet. We're going to figure this out, though. Alright, so these chickens are going to be laying eggs at 4 times production, which is going to boost our crabs. Right? So you see that interaction taking place there. More water chickens. Just don't need it. Barns, though. We'll definitely take the barn. And if you can secure the barn in your hand, folks, this is where flush actually works in your favor, right? We have to keep our income high. Our crabs are going to start kind of getting us a little more usable income. I mean, if we, like, all things considered right now, I believe the corn is probably doing a pretty good job of propping us up. Dealer's Hand, Peanut Fest, and Weed Expansion. Dealer's Hand does not work with flush. So let's go with Weed Expansion. I think that'll be fine. And then let's get our penguins on the field. So this is a great spot for a penguin right here. And we should see some massive production. Penguins actually only take 2. I thought they took 4. But look at what we have here, folks. 512 production out of our penguin friends. We're netting 63k. Let's see what we have this next turn around here. Silo water chicken mixer. I don't want to go crazy on the rerolls. Really don't want to. But now we have 188,000. And you can thank your penguin friends here, folks, for 20,000 fish chipping in 100k per turn. So I think you can start to visualize how this build gets absolutely insane, right? Just make a little checkerboard of penguins and crabs, and then outline it with chickens, right? And you got the makings of a pretty insane build. So we see what's happening here. The interaction, the eggs are going to the crabs. The crabs themselves, just their presence is boosting... Well, sorry, the lake's presence is boosting the penguins. And then the penguins, in turn, are boosting the crabs. So it's a nice symbiotic relationship that we're experiencing here. And you'll love to see it. So if we can secure Rabbit Apprentice, that will give us penguins and crabs every single turn. And I think that it's key. It's the key. It's not just key, it's the key to really being able to maximize this build. So kind of keep this in mind for your own penguin builds here. Rabbit Apprentice, I mean, maybe let's just say you're just kind of playing, right? You're just kind of seeing what the game gives you. You're not really necessarily going into it with a huge plan. You're just kind of seeing what the game gives you, right? Well, if you get Rabbit Apprentice early on, it's a great idea to consider going crab. It absolutely is. Crab and penguin, that is. And then, of course, you want to get 2 of the like animal on the same island, which you'll easily be able to do. And we could also use some more chickens, too, of course. right? For medium fence, what do we have? I think I'll add an island here and throw a medium fence in here. But truthfully, like, this is what the build looks like here. Chickens along the outside, crabs on the inner, penguins in the middle, and these middle fences here. And it's just mightily strong. It's mighty, for sure. The penguins are very, very strong. You just have to make sure you isolate them, right? And we can use essence rewards like Flush to help us do that. Because otherwise, you're not really getting all that many lakes. You're not getting that many medium fences. You're not getting that many king crabs or anything of that nature. I think I have... Yeah, I've got 2 king crabs, so that's actually going to be 4. So that'll be nice to go king crab, excuse me. And then, you know, that just doubles the production of our crabs. So I'm going to end my turn here, and let's see what this production is like now. I trust it will be mighty. 558,000. And we're being just carried absolutely by the fish production. Okay, popcorn's 40k. That's not bad. We have 16,000 crab legs for 100k. Everybody likes nice culinary delight of the crab leg. You have the king crab leg, but the king crab leg isn't really why you use king crabs. King crabs, of course, double the production of your crabs. Almost said cabs. Crabs, that is. And then the fish, 409,000. Basically catching every single fish in the ocean. Our penguins are experts, swimmers, expert hunters, apex predators, and you'll love to see it, folks. So let's play some more corn. I think, you know, this build kind of uniquely fell into place with Flush. Sometimes you can definitely take it too early, and it works against you. In this particular case, I think we got it right at about the right time. Maybe just a bit early. You could probably make that argument. It was just a little bit early. But that's alright, folks. A few things work out perfectly in the realm of Terracards, that's for sure. Especially when you're trying to play a corn and the corn's trying to process and we have earthquakes. Earthquakes spotted in the north. My goodness. Alright. About to take a water break for a moment. Goodness gracious. Penguins, though. How about them penguins? Very strong. It's a card that's easy to overlook, for sure. Very easy to just overlook. But the one thing you definitely need with the penguin build is you need the ability to isolate them, right? If you don't have that infrastructure in place, you're not going to have much luck. So we're going to go with more penguins right here. And they're still going to get a nice production boost because they're isolated by 4 lakes. So 512. We're just adding to it. This one tile here is money. It's about $500,000 in fish. Alright, so we have small fences here. We can certainly use those for the proliferation of our chicken friends. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's throw another small fence in right here. And I've been trying to understand, like, the logic of the game, right? And how the game decides what it gives you, right? And I don't have it down perfectly to a science, but it's pretty obvious to me that the more you limit the variety of things that you're taking, the less the game will give you a variety of stuff to choose from. That's what it kind of feels like to me. So king crabs, you bet we're going to get these in place all over. Been waiting for the moment to get the king crabs on the field. So let's get them on the field and let's hope for Rabbit Apprentice here in 4 days. Looking for it. And then since we have penguins here, let's continue to add them in right here. Alright, so we have some barns here. This is nice. Why don't we go ahead and boost our egg production 6 times over. Add another island here, you bet, and we'll throw another barn in here. So this is kind of what this build looks like. It's a power diamond, if you will, folks. Just visualize a large diamond. If you wanted to absolutely optimize, right? Let's say you were playing in creative mode, if you will. If there even was a creative mode. You know, let's say you were playing in creative mode. You would just build a large diamond. You'd fill all this up. Just fill it all up. Go medium fences instead of small fences. But realistically, you're not going to get everything you need in a single run that ends at turn 200, that is. More lakes, yeah, we can take some more lakes. What do you think about a Terracards creative mode? I think they should consider it, maybe. Dionysian rites. That'll certainly help with the corn production, so we'll go ahead and grab that. Let's get our blue wheat plate here. More chickens. Yeah, we'll take some more chickens. We've got a nice little home spot for them. This fence is only half full too, folks. And 16 eggs per chicken is being spit out. And look at these crabs. Almost 500 crab legs per crab here. With just a pretty simple build. You don't want to double up king crabs either. Well, I suppose you could. But what I found is one lake needs a king crab. And that'll help you secure that double production. So we're making $214K in crab legs here, folks. And $511,000 in fish. $102,000. We are catching literally every single fish in the sea. Rabbit, more penguins. You bet. We're all over that. Alright, so what do we have here? So what do we need? This will be another penguin zone, right? This is where our chickens are kind of just living on the outskirts. Goodness game. Let's go. That's definitely something that the development team, bless their souls, they definitely need to get that fixed. It's like the tooltip kind of pops up for a second, even though you're just playing a fence. And it stalls your ability to securely play, you know, a fence or a barn or whatever. Especially during the late game, it's very noticeable. It kind of slips off the island, if you will. And we want to keep our fencing securely on land, folks. Let's go ahead and play some more chickens here. And obviously, we're not going to get completely filled up here by day 200, but you're going to get a great idea of how strong this build actually is. Giant chickens, yeah, don't mind if I do. So many eggs just being thrown into this lake here. Are we able to still sell the eggs that are consumed by the crabs? Is that... It kind of feels like it, doesn't it? I mean, this is the only spot that's producing eggs. Interesting. So that's what's going on here, folks. We have eggs that we're producing. They're being consumed by the crabs to get a production bonus, and we're still able to sell them. I don't know if that's intentional or not. My guess is it's probably not. But that's okay for us. We will certainly take that. More penguins. Yeah, we got a nice home for you, penguins. They should allow the penguins to be in the lakes, for sure. I like the lake having the special property of being able to house aquatic animals, even though it can't house the penguin. They should definitely make it so it can. However, consider this. So penguins are kind of water intensive, right? So let's take a peek at the penguin. 15 water per penguin, right? So think about that. I mean, we got a lot of penguins here, right? So this should take a lot of water, but if you build it correctly with the lakes in place, the innate property of the lake is to eliminate the water cost to adjacent animals. So you actually get, like, this is just a free power diamond of production, and it's tremendous. And frankly, you just love to see it. If we can spend the rest of our days, folks, just picking crabs, chickens, penguins, fences, I will be satisfied with that for sure. Let's throw some gnomes in here to get just a little more wheat. Not really going to move the needle much, but we might as well play our cards, just so we don't draw them again. Rabbit, medium fence. Yeah, we'll take the medium fence. Cows, don't need them. Giant chickens, okay. So these should recognize a pretty beastly buff. Giant chicken getting 56 eggs. That's just mighty. And helps us fill out this giant fence, or medium fence of giant potential, if you will. Alright, so now we're going to keep doing this. Let's keep an eye on where these eggs go. Do they kind of distribute? Doesn't look like it. Let's grab more barns. Don't need to play more lakes at this time. It's a thing of beauty here, folks. Making over $1 million a turn. $50K in popcorn. $350K in crab legs. $614K in fish. And the king crab leg chipping in $2,700K. So look at that. So it looks like it's all feeding in here. Here's some more crabs. I've only been waiting for crabs for quite a while. Be nice to get Rabbit Apprentice here in 3 days. That will allow us to continue to play crabs and chickens and penguins to our heart's content, folks. Alright, so here we go. We do get the crabs on the field. This is obviously the most optimized. Well, this spot. I didn't realize it was not full. But this is the most optimized spot. Like, this is just a power spot right here. With everything that is involved in buffing it up. Let's get a quick look. I mean, 790, folks. That's just wild. That's insane. And you love to see it. Just littering a storm of eggs in there, making 5,000 eggs per turn. Gluttonous Feast and Popcorn there, folks. Definitely the champion. Crabs, yeah, you bet. Rabbit Apprentice, yes, you bet. Another low-key, very strong one is Golden Chance, given the amount of eggs we're producing. But we're going Rabbit Apprentice without question here. And this is going to allow us to continue to kind of build this out. So we will spend our next turns, next 20 turns or so, just building this out. And let's see how just utterly, insanely strong this becomes. So as far as freebies per turn go, folks, we have a lot to choose from. I'm going to throw a chicken here. In fact, why don't I throw another chicken here? And you're probably wondering, why are you doing that? Well, there's a bird nest right there that will give us a free chicken egg that hatches into a chicken card, I should say, every single turn. So it allows us to kind of double down on the freebies we're getting each turn. Also getting a free giant chicken card every single turn. So why don't I go here with it, and we'll get another one here next turn. Can start helping us fill out these fences and lakes. And obviously, you know, we're seeing kind of the late game, just laggy performance issue stuff that is quite frustrating. Just bear with me here, folks. This build's going to orbit, though, for sure. I mean, you thought $1 million per turn was nice. Let's take a look at what we have now. 1.54 million. We'll be up to 2 in no time here. And the crab leg has superseded the fish, for sure. I mean, if you're looking at your stock portfolio, right? Your stock portfolio shows you that most of your portfolio is invested in crab legs and fish here, folks. And we're okay with that. So let's go giant chicken. Let's get that in there. Let's get the crab on the field. Don't put it in the fence. Okay, thank you. Never be sure. I've gotten burned by that before for sure. Has anybody else gotten burned by that? Get a little bit of that lag effect, and then you place an animal or a crop where you do not intend to place it. It's frustrating for sure. And in fact, this just in general is kind of frustrating. But we have a completely nuclear penguin crab build here, and it's looking good. I mean, it's nice and aesthetic. It's nice and symmetrical. We don't really need more fences. We just don't need to play them. We're letting the game kind of work for us here, giving us exactly what we need every single turn. So, I mean, could you take this to day 400? What are your thoughts? Is day 400 a little ambitious? It might be, but consider what we'd be doing. We would just continue in this fashion. Whoops, I threw a peanut gnome there. That's really not good, actually. Now we're going to get a ton of peanut production. Okay, yeah, so that was unintended. Okay, yeah, so this really isn't good. Okay, let's pivot a little bit. Feel free to laugh at me, folks. When you have a completely populated hand and you're not aware of what you're playing necessarily, this actually might be kind of funny. We'll see. Let's see. There's going to be all kinds of goofiness happening on these islands now, though, for sure. I'm actually kind of curious to see what happens. We might get like 8 billion peanuts. Or we might get absolutely nothing. But yeah, as I was saying, like, we have the game working for us now. The game is giving us exactly what we need every single turn. So if you don't play the peanut gnome here, how far do you think you could take it? I mean, I would be willing to try this out for sure. Like, see how far you can actually take it. If it just didn't get so oppressively difficult to... Yeah, see, we got a whole bunch of peanuts now. If it didn't get so oppressively difficult to advance your turns and play cards like chickens and crabs in the late game. Right? Just, the performance, the tooltip, whatever. I mean, 254,000... peanuts. We lost about half of our income with that little clicking error. Well, card selection error, I should say. Thought I was playing a chicken. That's okay. A little bit of product diversity, right? The main thing I wanted to do with this build today, folks, was just display the awesome power of the penguin and the crab combo. Because it's an often overlooked combo that's very, very strong. and something that I would encourage you to try playing around with, because it's marvelous. If only the game kind of ran a little more fluidly at day 184 with so many animals on the field. Instead, we wrestle with the same types of things, it feels like. And that's alright, folks. The game is still in early access. The development team, I'm sure, is working very hard on a solution for some of the performance problems. And they're very responsive. They're a very nice team. You can find them on Discord. Just hop into Discord, search Terracards, and you can find the Discord server. I'm on there. There's plenty of other folks that is on the Discord server. You can submit questions. You can submit bugs, like report bugs. You can make suggestions for future content. And based on what I've seen, folks, they actually do... They do read over the suggestion tab when considering game updates. So maybe your idea can be implemented into the game. You're going to have to just use the suggestion tab in Discord. Find out. I mean, drop your ideas there. There's been some really good ideas I've seen pop up through there. Especially the removal feature, which would be very, very good right now. We could just eliminate that peanut gnome and move on with our lives. Definitely some mighty production here. Mighty production potential is the thing. Now, obviously, without the chickens producing eggs, they're not going to feed our crabs. So our crabs are actually going to take a massive production debuff. But they're still strengthened pretty voraciously by the penguins. So who is the real MVP here, folks? Let me know in the comments section. What do you think? Who's the real MVP of this build? Is it the penguin? Is it the crab? Is it the king crab? Is it the chicken? It's definitely not the peanut gnome. That's one thing I'm sure we can both agree on. We can all agree on, I should say. It's definitely not the peanut gnome. 900,000. 800,000 of that is peanuts. So I could certainly keep going on in this fashion here, folks. I don't necessarily know that I have to. I think you get the idea, and the vulgar display of power, the hideous strength of the penguin crab combination, sprinkle in some chickens in there, but the hideous strength of such a combination has been on full display. You definitely want Rabbit Apprentice. You definitely want the popcorn buff. You want things like Gluttonous Feast. You want things like Home Sweet Home. Get the things that boost up your animals, of course, as you would. And then just go to town. Build a power diamond. Build a power... whatever shape you want. A power polygon. Doesn't matter, folks. Build whatever you like. But do it like this. Surround your penguins with crabs in a lake. And then surround your crabs with chickens in a fence. And good things happen. Nuclear production. And you could probably keep going on like this for, I don't know, day 3, day 400. If you had the wherewithal to just sit and painstakingly continue to fill your fences. I don't have that kind of patience though, folks. I just can't. It's just hard for me to keep rocking and rolling when it takes 10 minutes to play one card. It's hard for me. But what I do here on this channel, folks, is I take a look at Terracards builds. I do very much enjoy the game of Terracards. It's a great game. It's got nice atmosphere. Great idea. Great unique idea. Some of the new additions to the game, including achievements, is going to make it more roguelike. Meaning the achievements are not necessarily on Steam to unlock, but achievements in the game like from a menu or some kind of point system, some kind of tracking system, right, that logs your activity and performance. I would assume you unlock things. So that's definitely a new feature that's being implemented. I believe it's going to be implemented in 1.3. So consider that's a big change, and it really kind of takes this game in a new direction, right? So maybe there's some playing around we can do with that for sure. Obviously 1.3 is right around the corner. That's going to be the penultimate update, the biggest update we've had in some time for the game. And there's going to be all kinds of new content added. I hope there's some performance boosts as well. But ultimately, it is an early access game. And like I said, the development community and the greater community in general is fantastic in Terracards. So yeah, if you are interested in the game, you can find it on Steam. Just pop on to Steam and get it. I think it's pretty cheap. And it's a whole lot of fun. And it's a game that is ever evolving and just always getting better. So that's tremendous in its own respect. So yeah, folks, that is the Penguin build. Let's take the final assessment here. Let's go Blackwater just to be destructive, of course. Yeah, see, look what Blackwater does. But let's take the final assessment here, folks. Obviously, with the Peanut Gnome error, it's hard to get an actual indicator, but it looks like, for the most part, I mean, we were getting like probably making $1 million in crab legs, I would assume. And then another, what, million? $750,000 in fish. Either way, it's a completely sustainable build. It's a wonderful build. It's a lovely build. And it's fun to use cards that you don't necessarily use all the time, like the Penguin Crab combination. So with that said, folks, I am going to end the video here. Thank you so much for your viewership. I really do appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, please consider becoming a subscriber. I would love to have you aboard the community. Keep your eyes open for some live streaming. The community has spoken. The community wants Terracards, so I will give the community Terracards in the channel's first live stream. So come and hang out. Pay attention to the YouTube community posts. I will be posting my live stream plans. I'm thinking probably Wednesday of this upcoming week, we'll do some Terracards. I've got some ideas and some community engagement as it relates to live streaming Terracards. Maybe you can tell me what card to choose when we have the opportunity to choose. Maybe you can tell me what essence reward to pick. You can choose to make things real difficult for me, or maybe throw me a bone, i.e. throw me that watery tree. We'll see. Definitely got some plans. Definitely looking forward to it. So this is a long-winded goodbye here, folks, but I am getting out of here. Thanks again so much. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed and enjoy the content. But we will catch you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.